Alright, Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, the honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And this lesson is going to go into Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and how he is the problem and the solution. And when you look up a lot of these billionaires, a title that normally pops up is a philanthropist. All right, and a philanthropist is a person who seeks to promote the welfare of others, especially by the generous donation of money to good causes. Another word for a philanthropist is a benefactor. Okay, so a philanthropist is someone that's looking out for the benefit of others, and that's his title. But when you dig into it, as we did a lesson, the Akim, we did a lesson over this past Saturday on how the devil is in the details. Now up number one is this guy Bill Gates. It says, fittingly, the richest man on the planet, which is a lie by a long shot, is also the most generous. And he has made around $27 billion worth of donations throughout his lifetime. Much of Bill Gates' charity work takes place through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which spends a lot of time and money aiding children around the world. All right. Now, when you dig into who this devil is, his father, all right, which was actually the head, as we see right here, all right, Bill Gates, father, head of Planned Parenthood, inspired his abortion population control views. All right, so on one hand, you're killing people, and on the other hand, all right, you're putting money towards, particular problems of the earth. Nah, you actually are the problem. So it says, in a lengthy interview with Bill Myers released today, Microsoft billionaire Bill Gates reveals the inspiration for his funding of pro-abortion population control measures. Responding to a question by Myers on how he came to fund reproductive issues, Gates answered, when I was growing up, my parents were always involved in various volunteer things. My dad was head of Planned Parenthood, all right, which they're a known advocate of killing off kids, especially you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American babies. And it was very controversial to be involved with that. And so it's fascinating, at the dinner table, my parents are very good at sharing the things they were doing and almost treating us like adults, talking about that. And as I was reading this, I was thinking about, why is this devil, so calm and collected, talking about putting people to death? Well, that's because, as the scriptures say, train up a child when he is born. It's like you train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's older, he should not depart from thee. Now, his parents, were advocate of Planned Parenthood. His father, as we just read, was a head. All right. So he trained his son up, all right, to follow in his wicked footsteps. So it says in the interview, Gates says he is moved by measurable progress and on safe birth, reproductive, family planning issues, he says. And he is a devil, which the devil means, all right, a deceiver. All right. He's deceiving the world and thinking that he's actually helping them. All right. Here it is. He pops up, at the, the solution to this pandemic, this coronavirus pandemic. which his solution, of course, is vaccine everybody, chip them, which, for those who don't know, the poison is normally in a vaccine. The poison is normally in a vaccine. And lo and behold, this devil, which has no medical background, all right, he's he's a computer whiz, so to speak. But hey, as the brother brought out on Saturday, Esau can't even stop viruses, from entering into the Microsoft computers. How the hell he's going to stop viruses from entering into you? Unless, of course, if he's manufacturing the viruses. So it says there's a measurable there's a measurable impact when you can go in and educate families, but primarily women, about their different choices. There's real impact that you can have in this area, anything to do with reproductive health. He claims he has seen beyond Malthusian conceptions of useless eaters, since he says he has seen that by improving health and education, population decreases as parents decide to have less children. And it just made me think of too, when you're in high school and they give you those sex education classes, and it's not for their benefit. Well, it's not for your benefit, it's for their benefit. It's more so for their benefit. You can put it like that. It says, despite all his distancing from Malthus, Gates remains steadfast to the unfounded Malthusian fear of overpopulation. And what you're gonna soon realize, as I go through these different philanthropists, is that they all are in cahoots. All right, like Warren Buffett. This is one of the most well-known philanthropists, is Warren Buffett. In the world, Warren Buffett also works closely with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, having donated over $21 billion to various causes himself. The CEO and chairman of Berkshire Hathaway has also started the Giving Pledge to encourage other rich families into philanthropy. And we're going to get into that in a bit. But all these devils, when you get into that level, you have to think like the top 1%. Like these elites. Which these elites, how do they think? Well, we got to go to the Georgia Guidestones. And in the Georgia Guidestones, all right, one of their top commandments, just look it up real quick. All right, Georgia. Look, shows you Esau's listening. Georgia Guidestones. All right, the first one. All right, first commandment: maintain humanity under 500,000 in perpetual balance with nature. And if anything that should be destroyed is Esau, because he's adverse against nature. All right, here it is. The Most High says, give the land, a year to rest. You work it for 6 years, and then the 7th year there's a Sabbath to the land. Esau continues to frack and frack and frack and frack. Here it is. The Most High says, don't mess with the trees. The trees are the life of a man. Esau cuts trees down and then plants artificial trees. All right. As a matter of fact, the scriptures tell you, Habakkuk 2 and 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So now, knowing who the devil is, all right, that he cannot be satisfied, why would this man just want to give money away? You got to ask yourself that. You got to look, when you look into these men, why would they want to give money away? Now, fuck's sake, boy.
Over 300 bills restricting abortion have been filed in 47 states with extreme abortion bans.
Welcome to The Daily Show.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a book that has made you the enemy of billionaires all over the world.
Right.
You are a foolish man.
Right.
Why would you write a book that basically accuses billionaires of being like fake good people as philanthropists? What does that even mean?
There was no good reason to do it, except that it was true. You know, we live in this time, and I was thinking about it when you're talking about the president, because he's kind of an example of this. He had a fake foundation. They're not all fake. But we live in this time in which rich people, you can't walk down the street in Manhattan or other parts of the country without bumping into a rich person who's trying to change the world, right? Mark Zuckerberg's trying to change the world. Elon Musk is going to try to change the world. Jeff Bezos changing the world. They're all changing the world. More money being given away than has ever been given away in the history of the world.
Right.
Young people, all, elite graduates, elite campuses. We want to go to Africa, start a social enterprise, turning recycled poop into coffee.
Right.
With tote bags. Bono is involved.
Yes.
The red iPhone case you get for free. And the question is, why is it that this era of extraordinary elite generosity, which is real, happens to coincide with an age of extraordinary elite hoarding? The very same class of billionaires and plutocrats who do so much to give and constantly talk about how much they give have a monopoly on the future in this country. The 1% in this country takes 49% of new income.
Yeah.
Half the new income. And imagine if all the new income in this studio audience went to one person, right? Half of it. Imagine if another true statistic, the 0.1%, owns more wealth than the bottom 80% of people in this country.
Right.
The bottom half of people in this country on average have not gotten a raise, as many of you may know, in 40 years.
Right.
And so the question then becomes, what's the relationship between all this nice stuff elites do and this elite predation? And the relationship that I discovered when I reported this book was that it's these nice deeds, this sprinkling of nice deeds that help us uphold a system in which rich people can monopolize the future, hoard progress, and kill the American dream. And not satisfied with that, they're trying to kill the planet now too.
Okay, but...
And, that's the point. Here it is, these devils, they don't do nothing for nothing. All right? The only reason they will fund something is if it's for their own benefit. And like this guy, his name is Anand Giridharadas. He created this book called Winners Take All and the Paradox of the Elite Philanthropy. And this guy, which is this is called The Daily Show, which I never seen this, with Trevor Noah. So this guy Trevor Noah is, as we listen to him, you'll see that he's going to try to, what's the word I'm looking for? Not debunk, but defame everything this guy Anand is saying, which is true. All right? Esau doesn't do anything for nothing for nothing. So here it is. He's as we just read about the, as we just read about the billionaire philanthropists like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates. All right? These guys are actually for depopulation. All right? They're for depopulation, and they're for a New World Order, which a New World Order in which this guy, Bill Gates, and there was another guy on the list too, which both backgrounds go back to computers and stuff like that. Bill Gates, and another guy on this list too I noticed was Gordon Moore. Now I don't know too much about Gordon Moore, but it's just funny how a lot of these, two guys on this list, and the third one, Warren Buffett, is basically him and Bill Gates are in cahoots. They both have backgrounds of Oh no, actually three. Gordon Moore, then you have Mark Zuckerberg. All three backgrounds go into what? Computers. Now when you watch these movies going into 2054, like Minority Report, what's that movie? Shoot. Dang. Demolition Man. Certain, like the brother called it, cyberpunk movies, they all basically are technology based. All right. If you're a human, you're not completely human. You will be transhuman. I mean, you have some type of, you're upgraded into the Internet of Things. You might have upgraded eye, upgraded ear. You might have a brain chip. Something is different about you. All right. So that's what these devils are doing. All right. They're buttering you up towards their vision of, how they want this world to be. All right, for lack of better terms.
But let's go back on this. So you're saying that people hoard the money, all right? But now everyone here tries to keep the money that they make. I mean, I think that is like a logical thing that human beings do. You get the money, you keep the money. No one gets the money from like work and then is like, meh. You get what I'm saying? So when you're saying that they're hoarding the money, people would go like, yes, but Anand, that's the American dream. You work hard and then you make your money. Why is that a problem? Or why do you think that is a paradox with the public giving that they're doing?
I think another simpler way to say what you're saying, which I agree with, is that Plute's gonna Plute. I even have the shirt.
Okay.
Plute's gonna Plute.
Yes.
They're gonna fight for their interests.
Okay.
The plutocrats are gonna do what's good for plutocrats. You're right. The thing is, this is not feudal England. So we actually have systems that are designed to keep them in check. Because you're right. People are gonna fight for their own interests.
Right.
And when you have people who have such vast fortunes that they have the power as monopolies to decide which way our elections go, which is a power Mark Zuckerberg frankly has. When you have someone who has the power to dictate whether workers have to pee in a bottle to be able to, survive and make productivity at their company. When you have people with so much power over consumers, you can't just say the hoarding impulse is going to be the hoarding impulse. You have to tax people properly. Taxes. You have to regulate people properly. You have to have a minimum wage that actually allows people who have no leverage against these billionaires to have the shared leverage that we all have, which is through a government negotiating for us. People don't understand. People denigrate the government. Over the last 40 years, we've lived in this country under an ideology that says government is bad, wealth creation is good. You know what the government is? The government is like a lawyer who represents all of us, right? And
which is wrong. That's that's another story, but that's BS. The government don't represent nobody but the elites.
And rich people are not all good or all bad the way you or me or anybody else is all good or all bad. But when rich people start to make money by underpaying people systemically, make money by, frankly, avoiding taxation in any way they can, hiding money, make money by employing people insecurely. You're a contractor, you work at Uber, but you don't really work at Uber. You do all of that. It's time for the advocate for all of us, the government, to actually fight on our behalf.
But now here's the thing. There are many billionaires, right? You say the elite charade of changing the world. But there are many billionaires who have come out publicly and said, hey, we should be paying more tax as billionaires. We want to be taxed higher. Like Warren Buffett has come out many times saying, guys, my personal assistant pays a higher tax rate than I do, which is not fair. So if the billionaires are saying we should be paying more tax, then why would you say that it's a charade, or why do you say that they're part of the problem?
Those billionaires are saying the right thing. Now, what is interesting, some of the people you mentioned, if you double-click on some of what they actually do in their life, what they do is they say, we should pay higher income tax. Double-click on some of what they actually do in their life.
Now, real quick, I had to pause the video. Just as I mentioned before, you got to listen clearly and precisely to what this guy says. All right? As you say, the devil is in the details.
Billionaires are saying the right thing. Now, what is interesting, some of the people you mentioned, if you double-click on some of what they actually do in their life, what they do is they say, we should pay higher income tax. They call their accountant immediately when they're off the CNBC air, and they say, hey, Bob, just make sure I have only wealth accumulation this year, capital gains, no income increase. Because you can do that when you're rich. You can just shuffle things around. So, if you look at Warren Buffett and others, they say higher income taxes, but they don't have a lot of income. But because they, put it over there in the investment pile.
Your shares give you the money and that's taxed at a lower rate. Yes.
And I think what we don't realize in this country, now we're heading into the election season, and we're starting to have a bunch of candidates who in various ways would at least gesture to what I'm talking about, right? Inequality is bad, we got to rebuild the middle class. But part of why I wrote the book, and part of why I hope it's relevant as we head into the election, is a lot of the people who sound similar when they're talking about fixing this problem are actually quite different. And I think of the book as a set of infrared lenses to actually understand who's peddling real change and who's peddling fake change. Because you look at people who say, gosh, we got to rebuild the middle class, but who also say, as Joe Biden did, you know, nothing's going to fundamentally change for the billionaires in this country. I just have to say, that is an incoherent, and I don't just mean rambling incoherent, as is the Biden way, but is an incoherent, intellectually incoherent theory. Because in this moment, I'm not saying all moments, but in this moment, the people up above are up above because they are stepping on people down below. And the people down below are down below because they are being stepped on. And you cannot say that I want to help the people down below in a way that will change nothing for the people standing on their necks. The same way you couldn't address feudal England, you couldn't address the Downton Abbey world without dealing with why the Granthams are the only people who own that damn castle, so big, right? You couldn't deal with slavery without making things worse for the white plantation owners. You can't, frankly, look at the Me Too world. You can't make things better for women in this world without, frankly, reducing the power of men to have impunity in so many of the spaces you and I and everybody else operate in. Real change involves the loss of power. And at the heart of
Right, and we dealing with this devil, and as the man he went into, which I had to stop him and bring out a precept. All right, because that's what we do. All right, marry everything we speak of according to the Bible. All right, Proverbs 3:20. No, it's lucky. Slocky, bear with me 1 second. All right, it was Proverbs 26:25. It says, I actually started 23. Burning lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered with silver dross. Let's look at what a potsherd is, actually. You know what, real quick. Potsherd. Proverbs 26:23. All right, a potsherd, earthen vessel. So it says, burning lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered with silver dross. All right, so that's Esau. His lips are, they seem good, but really, what he says out of his mouth seems good, but really it's just crap. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. So when Esau does something so-called fair, believe it not, for there's always a motive behind it. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna keep going with that, but I want to grab Sirach 14. And 9, it says, a covetous man's, I start at 14:8. The envious man hath a wicked eye, and he turneth away his face and despiseth men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion. All right, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, when you go back into the book of Genesis 27, all right, he received his portion. All right, he received his portion. I know I'm jumping around, but real quick, Genesis 27 and 30. I started 36. And he said, "Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, he hath taken away my blessing." And he said, "Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?" And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, "Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?" And Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father?" So mind you, Esau would he make it seem like he would have been satisfied with just one blessing. "Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck." And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said unto his father, "The days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob." You see? So Esau is that wicked man that's not satisfied with his portion. All right, here that you got the fatness of the earth, but you want more. The Lord gave you time to rule, but you want more. All right, so it says, verse 9, a covetous man, back at Sirach 14:9, a covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drive up his soul. All right, so because Esau is not satisfied, he's going to keep doing wickedness until the Lord finds him, with blood upon his hands, man. He don't care how many people he got to kill. All right, he don't care how many people, it takes to knock off to do so. This is a wicked eye, envy of his bread, and he is a niggard at his table. All right, so this devil, again, proving that if he feels like that all the riches and the fatness of the earth is not enough, why would he go and give his money away? Why would he give that? Why would he give his food away, seeing as though he feel like he didn't, fulfill his own belly? There's a sinister plot behind that. All right, so back at Proverbs 26 and 25. All right, now we understand, who we actually talking about. It says, "When you speak of fear, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart." All right. That's what Esau does. I'm gonna give you this money, but I'm gonna want 750% interest, some shit like that, some craziness. "Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be shewed before the whole congregation." And his wickedness is about to be shewed before the whole congregation. All right, with them vaccines. All right, with that the forcing of the RFID chip, the forcing of the vaccine, that's his wickedness being shewed throughout the whole congregation. Okay, "Who diggeth a pit, Slaki, whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein." So Esau is going to fall into the same destruction he's trying to bring the rest of the world to. "And he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. A lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin." All right, so don't believe for a second Esau is actual trying to do good to you. He's actually has benevolent reasons behind him giving out so much money. Nah, the guy's breaking it down. First, he's doing that so he won't get taxed on that, on that level. And secondly, he's buttering the people up for his agenda, for his plans. All right, don't they say gift destroys the heart? All right, hey, so with that, shalom to the elect.